What a day filled with excitement, everyone. Take a look at what is taking place just prior to the introduction of the exchange-traded funds. Isn't this very fascinating? Originating from Machiguru, tonight, President Trump will be hosting a secret meeting at the White House that will be attended by Justin, as well as a number of other top executives in the United States. Being in attendance at the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ is in attendance, JP Morgan will be in attendance, BlackRock, oops, I am going to be there. There is attendance from Morgan Stanley, with the attendance of Goldman Sachs. Isn't it just a tiny bit strange for what reason and what topics will they discuss? When the market capitalization of your table is higher than that of the country's private dinner, to use the exact wording, you all have to check this out. It's really fascinating. Doesn't it feel like there's something going on here? Taking into consideration these significant institutions and keeping in mind that they are the puppets of the financial system that is currently in place. And this is not even taking into account that it will occur tomorrow on the night that the XRP exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are set to be launched. Is it possible that a relationship exists between the two, potentially breaking or collapsing? The Secretary of the Treasury for the United States, Besant, has announced that it is very likely that checks for $2,000 in the form of tariff stimulus will be sent out to every American who earns less than $100,000 a year. There you have it, everyone. As a result, it has been confirmed. It has been proven that, the majority of Americans are going to be grabbing this $2,000, correct? When the appropriate moment arrives, which will happen at some point in the future, I would recommend purchasing XRP with that money, all right? Regardless of what you do, I believe that even if you were to purchase it, it would cost you around $500. Is that correct? Just go ahead and get some XRP with this $2,000 since in the future it will pay off most definitely. And in addition to that, it is free money, correct? Therefore, even if it does not do the things you desire it to achieve, the fact that XRP does not have to perform anything is irrelevant because it is considered to be free money. Is that correct? I am aware that a number of individuals will achieve a return on their investment in Bitcoin. Therefore, I do not recommend purchasing it. It is awful. After that, from Eleanor, the House has passed the bill to end the longest government shutdown in history, which lasted more than 42 days, by a vote of 222 to 209. At 9:45 in the evening, President Trump is anticipated to sign it. Therefore, I am assuming that he did really sign it, everyone, and that the administration is on the verge of reopening here once more. Bullish news, followed by bullish news, followed once again by bullish news. Could you please explain what is going on? Correct. This is then fantastic news in and of itself, everyone. The Reuters poll of the U.S. Federal Reserve, which was conducted to determine if the Fed funds rates will be reduced by 25 basis points to a range of 3.50 to 3.75% on December 10th, indicates that 84 of the 105 economists surveyed answered in the affirmative. All right, therefore, so the Federal Reserve is reducing its rates like it has never done before. Is that not so? The men and women are currently undergoing a phase of weight loss. We are going to receive stimulus checks. And on top of that, they are going to put an end to quantitative tightening, aren't they? They are going to introduce quantitative easing, right? Oh my goodness, what OT? Her things do we have here? Reopening by the government, huh? For example, don't you agree that the conditions right now are ideal for the legendary bull run? This is exactly what everybody was A forecast for news regarding tariffs will be made public over the course of the next couple of days, according to a statement that was made by Besant, the Secretary of the U.S. Treasury. In this case, I would assume that everything will turn out well, wouldn't you agree? It's exhibiting a negative response in place of that. Why would he make the announcement in the first place? Do you agree? Therefore, if this tariff news is favorable, gentlemen, it is possible that duties imposed on other nations could be reduced or even completely eliminated. All things considered, markets are going to move in the right direction. Therefore, gentlemen, it is as straightforward as 1, 2, 3. There is a sense that a perfect storm is forming here, particularly when you consider the White House, if you will. Trump's meeting with all of these executives who are significant participants in the TradFi system, exactly. Therefore, there is no doubt that something is in the process of being made. Because of the fact that BlackRock is in attendance, I am speculating that the outlook is positive. Do not forget that Aladdin is owned by BlackRock. What is Aladdin's occupation? You are all going to know sooner or later that Trump is going to control every market in any manner he wants it to be managed. I would like to think that they are going to increase it in the near future. Is that correct? This situation is comparable to a perfect storm, and on top of that, we have, according to Charles Hoskinson, we are not at the conclusion of the bull run. The fact that we have only made it halfway through the journey was something that I was the first to mention. I am being sincere. In reality, we performed satisfactorily. We had predicted that the cycle would conclude by the year 2025, but due to significant shortfalls, we have since altered our stance. Al, right, we were instructed by him to remain until 2026, correct? Therefore, it will not be too much of a stretch to believe that as soon as we observe that which we, according to what is believed to be true, there is only a few of months till then, and an insider is aware of this information as well, correct? Is it correct to say that the founder of Cardano is the person he is referring to? The sitting is one of the most prominent coins in the galaxy. Well, we have only gotten through half of it. That's correct. So we have not yet laid eyes on you guys. And the beginning of this is about to kick off with XRP, which is going to take place tomorrow. All right. Or I am making an educated bet that by the time you all are watching this today, therefore, because the listing was confirmed by NASDAQ, Canary Funds ETF is now officially in effect as of 5:30 p.m., making XRPC ready for debut at the opening of the market tomorrow, correct? Therefore, at approximately 9:30 in the morning, the CEO of Canary Fund provided me with the statements regarding the XRPC spot ETF quote. The initial single token spot additional PTF will be officially launched, and we are looking forward to it. It is due to the leadership of Chairman Atkins, Commissioner Pierce, and the many other outstanding individuals at the SEC who support free markets that this has been able to come to fruition. Fellowship of the Ring members, they are thrilled. For what reason? Because there is a near certain chance that they will accumulate a significant amount of money. However, this does pave the way for a route, does it not? A path that is lined with rainbows and filled with sunshine. All right, since this thing will only be beneficial from this point forward, starting tomorrow, beginning tomorrow, everyone. All right, it is not a negative. It is a negative, I suppose, but I have forgotten it. Nevertheless, it only results in a net positive. I intended to say that. Everyone, please be aware that this is the only net positive outcome. The reason for this is at the Ripple Splash, the CEO of Bitwise and Fast informed us that a spot XRP ETF would be an enormous product, giving it access to the TriFi market, which is valued at $100 trillion. After this is over, we will be discussing the charts because we want to know where we are going if we explode. However, before we get to that, what is the reason that we are going to explode? Now, have a look at what he has to say in this section. There is a tremendous amount of interest in XRP, and you are aware that Matt Hogan, who is my colleague and also the CIO, is fond of saying that the death of an ETF is apathy, and apathy is definitely not one of the characteristics of XRP. It is clear that there is a great deal of interest, energy, and passion. Do you know exactly how many community men we have? Is it accurate to say that this neighborhood has been under construction for a whole 10 years? More than anything, I believe that the moment at which the railers were brought into play was the moment that brought everybody together, correct? However, folks will not acknowledge that fact, and there is a great deal of exhilarating energy present, correct? We would like to see XRP experience incredible events. This is an example of one of them, the trigger, the catalyst, which ignites. Tomorrow sets the stage for the road that we have all been anticipating. There is $100+ trillion worth of assets that are housed on traditional tracks. In addition, an increasing amount of that is moving down the chain. However, despite this, there is $100 trillion in that location. An exchange-traded fund, ETF, is frequently the first opportunity that a significant portion of those assets will have to gain exposure to an asset. I am of the opinion that if they are given the option to gain exposure to and trade XRP, it will be a very helpful and highly demanded product. You are quite correct, aren't you, fellas? $100 trillion worth of traditional financial markets. For what reason? The reason for this is that the average individual is not engaging in activities such as cryptocurrency trading.